me open up the feed so I can follow the chats.
We are live, ladies and gentlemen.
We're live, yes. Okay, so we got people coming in already. All right, so I tagged you as well. What's up, guys? Welcome to Money Monday. You already know what time it is. I have a celebrity in the house. Hey.
Oh yeah.
So we have a very dope topic to talk about today, and a very special guest. We're gonna get started here as soon as we have 10 shares. We're actually gonna do a cash raffle. We're gonna do a cash raffle. We're gonna put everyone's name in the raffle that actually shares this, okay? And then we're gonna get started once we get 10 shares. So if you're watching right now, how many shares do we have? How many shares do we have so far? Let's see. People will start commenting here. Let's see. Oh, it's going up. It's going up. We got 15 views.
Hey.
So we'll get started here in a little bit, guys. A cash raffle. I'm not gonna say how much. You know, we have a celebrity on the line. He got money, you know, so we'll just take his money.
Ching, 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 ching.
So as soon as we get 10 shares, guys, we'll go ahead and get started. Today we're gonna have a very powerful topic. I think actually growing your money and finances starts with mindset. So I think that that's one of the most important things. If you guys can hear us and see us, type one in the chat just so I know we got some engagement shared. Okay, we got some shares. Awesome, we got some hearts. Okay, here we go. We're in motion. Share. How many shares do we have so far, guys? How many shares do we have so far? All right, how many shares do we have so far? Let's see. Can somebody write in the chat how many shares we have?
Si no está bailando con ellas.
Yeah, I was going to say you guys need to do something before Jeremy starts singing. Go ahead, Jeremy. There we go. Share. Okay, we got some shares. Okay, I see y'all. Let me go ahead and lock this meeting because I saw somebody trying to speak up on it. Let's see. You know, we have people coming to the Zoom real quick. I'm like, wait a minute, hold up, we gotta lock this. How many shares do we have, guys? We're gonna do a cash raffle. Come on,
let's go, baby. Let's go, baby.
Cash. We need some cash raffles for shares. Shares for cash raffles. All right. How many shares do we have so far? Can someone type it in the chat for me? Can someone type in the chat how many shares we have so far? We need 10 to get started, guys. Don't keep my guests waiting. How many do we have so far? We have over 50 viewers so far, so we've got to have quite an amount of shares. Let's see. Let's see if I can see it. How many? It says 16. Woo! Okay, so we over-exceeded. Okay, awesome.
Let's go. Let's go.
So I guess we can get started. All right, so if you guys stay to the end of the live, you got to stay to the end of the live too. So you can't just come in, share, and then leave. That don't count. So towards the end of the live, we'll go ahead and put out a question based on what we talked about. We'll have you tell us a little bit about you, and then we'll decide and put you in that hat. All right, so let's go ahead and get started, guys. Today we have a superstar. I call him a superstar on Money Monday Live. One of my favorite people in the world. We're from the same city. We have a lot of the same challenges coming up, a lot of the same similarities and stories, and just what he's been able to do. For us, it seems like a short amount of time, but I know that it's been in the background brewing for a very long time.
Right.
And that's why it's a good topic that we're going to talk about today. But he is the owner and CEO of Inspired by Unity, LLC. Woo, woo, woo.
Woo, woo, woo.
Worldwide inspirational speaker. I mean, if I was just to talk about his accolades, I'll be here all day. But we're going to talk about how to develop a growth mindset, especially coming into 2021. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have him tell his story, how he became who he is today. Just to let my audience know, Jeremy, who you are. I know it's a long story, right?
Yep.
I want to start with the short. Where was your turning point, and what made you into where you are today, and what do you love the most about what you do currently? So welcome on to our show. We have a lot of people watching right now, so I'm excited for you.
Awesome. So this intro is not gonna be an intro that people expect, because I really don't like gassing up the results. For me, I think the process is more important than the results, because that's what becomes relatable, and that's what helps people really understand what they have to go through to get what they want. So this all started about 10 years ago when I was in front of my son's mother's house with a gasoline tank. I was struggling with my mind, and I was struggling with my thoughts and my emotions so much that I literally wanted to burn the house down with her in it. And that's with all due respect to her. This is something that she also understands, that we've already talked about. But it was at that moment that I had to make a decision. Do I continue to being this individual that gets dominated by his thoughts? Do I continue to be this individual that gets controlled by his emotions? Or do I start to shift? And I didn't know what the subconscious was at the time. I didn't know about absolutely nothing about the law of attraction. I didn't know about nothing. All I did was type up how to get rid of negative thoughts on YouTube. And then from there, I just, the referrals of the relatable videos. And I just fell in love with knowing that I can reconstruct this broken, depressed, suicidal human being that lived this life wanting to hurt other individuals.
Wow, that's powerful. I remember you telling me this story. Obviously, I've heard your story. We've had a lot of dialogue, deep conversations in the past, so I'm grateful for you. And but I remember hearing that, and I was like, wow, and then just knowing the journey, because I remember you telling me it kind of took a long time to get to be the Jeremy that you are today. So a lot of people are looking for that microwave success.
Yes.
And so tell us a little bit about that, your journey. So let's just start, right? So that's where it all started. That's where you said there's a shift. What came after that? What was the preparation like?
So it was really about nourishing my mind, because the only thing that was introduced to my eyes and my mind was everything that I didn't want to turn out to be, right? In these environments, and I say this with much empathy, we get exposed to more than we're supposed to get exposed to. And what I find is that most of us end up becoming a victim to everything that we witness, opposed to a victor. So once I seen and I interpreted my family as everything that I didn't want to become, with all due respect to them, I knew that I had to do something different. So it all starts with how much you're able to feed your mind. We already know all the bull stuff, all the bullcrap stuff that we've been feeding it, right? But how about the good stuff? So it went from reading books, but I realized that reading books wasn't my favorite thing to do. So then I got into audios. I got into going into seminars, and I just became a student to life. I'm talking about not just what I'm doing on my own time. Every single time I spoke to somebody, I would genuinely listen. It could be somebody that's holding a sign up on the streets, or somebody that's a pastor from church, or somebody in my family. I would always listen, because I always understood, once I realized I didn't want to be that version of Jeremy Rodriguez, that I wanted more. And the more I listened, the more I gave myself an opportunity to grow. And it's crazy, right? Because I just did a video on this, right? Most of the times that people are engaging in conversations, we have the me too and the I know syndrome. Everybody knows everything, and they also experience everything that you've experienced. For me, the problem with most of us, right? And I'm gonna go back to me, but I wanna start giving people value right now. The problem with most of us is that we constantly listen to respond rather than to understand. So sometimes, with all due respect to whoever's watching, we have to learn to shut up. Really listen to what the individuals are telling you. So I became such an obsessed student to life that I was just seeking. I would fly out to Dallas to go see Tony Robbins. I flew out to Detroit to go see Eric Thomas. I followed Eric Thomas everywhere that he went, because I knew, right, that if I wanted more, I had to seek it. Seek and you shall find. And what I want everybody to understand is that there's so many times in this journey that I wanted to give up. I mean, when you don't get the results that you're after, right? Because we're thinking we're working hard. Why are the results not happening? When you don't get the results immediately, you kind of get discouraged. And what I realized, I'm not playing, this is not a short game. Life is not a short game. Life is about the long haul. And it's about maximizing your now so that your long haul looks promising. And that's what I did, right? I was obsessed with learning. I was obsessed with growing. And I was infatuated with the idea that I can literally construct whatever human being I wanted to become.
Absolutely. That's so powerful. Are you guys getting value?
Yeah!
Like, we haven't even gotten the topic yet. He's already giving value, guys. Type a 1 in the chat if you're getting value from this man. I mean, when he speaks, it's so powerful. And I and still be like
100%.
so hyped up off the conversation
Right.
because we found ourselves going in the same path. And so we want to be able to help those that are stuck right now, that are like, I want more. I know there is more.
Right.
And find themselves in that hole. I remember being in that hole. I
Right.
remember being in that, always being a person that wanted more, but I felt like I had lost myself completely. And so those are the kind of people I want to talk to today on how can you develop a growth mindset and actually race towards it versus staying in the fear. So one of the things that you talked about was in listening. I think that's so important. I mean, becoming a mentor to so many, as well as you already know we're out here coaching and mentoring, developing, but so many times people just don't listen. And then so my business is not thriving this, and they blame things on something else. But when you really look at the actual stats, no one's really following directions because they're not listening, right? So I remember you talking to us about that and just talking about that connection, that everyone you connect to, bring value to that person. And I took that away from our last conversation, and now it's just like I want to build relationship after relationship. Whether you're not on my team, you are on my team. Like there's people I have built so many strong relationships that are not even on my team, on my social. It's just we've built some solid relationships based on where we're going. So let's start with something I want to talk about. Most people will say, "What if I fail?" And so I know you've heard this before, and I think that we were the ones that switched that and said, "What if we win?" So how do we help people replace the word failing with learning? When they make these mistakes and they're looking for these goals and they feel that they failed, but every failure is a lesson. So what would you say to someone that is currently saying, what if I fail, what if I fail, what if I fail? And then how do they adapt the mindset that you did when you said, I just want to immerse myself with this? And, you kind of found your calling at that very moment. What would you say to someone
you want to go deep with this? We're going to go deep with this?
Let's do it.
So the very first step to overcoming fear is getting comfortable in your own skin. Because the only reason why fear carries the weight that it carries is because we're more concerned with what other people think about us than what we think about ourselves. So here's why fear is so significant, right? When we think about what we want to achieve and we actually get frightened at that idea, what we're saying is, number one, we don't believe in ourselves enough. And number two, we're afraid that if we take that leap of faith that we want to take and we fail, that we're not significant. And the moment that we feel insignificant is the moment that we feel like we're not enough to be loved. So the driving force to fear is the fear of not being enough to be loved. Significance and love are two human needs. So again, if we can get comfortable in our own skin and be more concerned with what we think about ourselves opposed to what somebody else thinks about ourselves, you're going to understand that every experience is a sparring match. We look at every decision like a championship bout, when in reality, we're literally sparring all day. Man, listen, can I just tell you guys, everything I've done in my life, I've done it scared as shit. I'm talking about opening up this store. I had a convenience store that I started. I had a barbershop that I started. I had another clothing store that I started. And guess what? They all failed miserably. But now, what I also realized, and Riza, this is a power punch and a half. Most of the times that we do stuff, right, we're actually running away from our passion because we're scared of our own greatness. And what I realized, everything that I was doing in my life was for significance and not because of my own passion. And once I realized that, I'm like, I'm still working, trying to impress people opposed to finding fulfillment within my own self. Whoa, y'all gotta listen to this. Y'all gotta listen to this. There's no more making decisions based on the feeling of significance. Now it's making every decision based on passion and fulfillment. Because at that point, you're gonna be so obsessed about what you're doing that you don't care about anything else but the process.
Woo. Bro.
Yo.
I'm a private student at this, bro, because I feel it. It gives me the chills because I remember that moment where I was like, hold on, this is not about making money. Like when I started to see my life change a little bit and I'm like, I was bringing people with me, and I was like, oh my God, like, that changed that person's life. It became a passion. Like, now I seek that. Now I seek, oh my God, to see people win. And when I dove into that versus the commission checks and the money and all this other stuff, people just do things for the wrong reason. Again, significance, money, whatever. When I dove into that passion, bro, everything just started to thrive.
Right.
And so, why do you think people run away from their passion? Like you said it's because they're scared, or maybe they don't know what their passion is yet. So how would someone be able to identify that?
So that's a very great question. But before I answer this question, Reza, now that we have whatever audience we have, I just want to publicly acknowledge you, because you have, like, I get the chills. Like, I almost get emotional, because when I see people transform into who they're really supposed to be, it's almost like looking at the most beautiful picture in the world. So to see you transform, to see you really evolve into this amazing mogul, is just unbelievably inspiring. And I just want my audience, right, at some point to really follow you, because you do stuff like genuinely from the heart. Like, when I look at you, I don't see the ulterior motive. I don't see nothing but a human being that has found her calling, has found her passion, and is really trying to change the dynamics of people's lives. And I wanted to just publicly take this opportunity to acknowledge you for that, because I don't think we tell you enough, like, as leaders, how powerful and how amazing and how beautiful it is to witness what you've done with your life. So I just wanted to start with that.
Bro, I appreciate
like
that.
For real. That's from the heart. Like, for real. Like, for real.
I know, you're giving me this shit. Don't make me cry.
Yo, for real. Cause it's like, people don't get it. But this is what your audience have to understand. Y'all know how many no's she listened to. Y'all know how many no's. How many times people left her flat? How many times people left her unread? How many times she had any reason to give up, and she continued to fight? She didn't fight for herself and her freedom. That was a byproduct of the effort. What she fought is for those broken lives and those broken environments and those broken cycles. So you guys have to fear her, man. When you guys feel like slacking, just know that your leader is really leading. Y'all have to understand that. She don't have to care for you. She don't have to respond to you immediately. This is the only woman that I know that's super busy and responds to everybody immediately, because she cares about what she's doing. So y'all have to, when y'all feel like slacking, yo, stop wasting her time, man. Because what she's doing stuff that you guys will never realize. You guys will never realize the behind the scenes that this woman goes through to make sure that she creates the most powerful team that she has. And that's why she's growing the way she's growing. Y'all think that she's growing because it's a mistake, it's a coincidence? Y'all think because she's the lucky one? Nah, she's worked her way to that position, man. She's worked her way to that position. And she deserves all the accolades, all the credit, all the recognition, because she's doing everything from here. And there's not too many leaders that are doing everything from here. So just understand that.
Absolutely. Thank you, bro. Oh my God, people going nuts right now.
Yo, it's just real talk. It's just real talk.
Crazy. I appreciate you, bro. Yeah, I think that a lot of people fail to see the behind the scenes. I failed so many times, and I'm still not at the top.
Right.
You know? It's like we continue to fail, but every failure was a step closer. And you're right. You know, the reason I didn't give up is because I have so many whys on my shoulder. You know, I have so many whys on my team, on my shoulder, and not just my team, but like the people that actually have put, you know, their trust in me with our products and services. That means the world to me. I don't care if someone in my downline brought that person up, you know, brought them in. I'm reaching out because I understand that that's my responsibility, but more from they start this for a reason. You know what I'm saying? Like, when you submitted that button, it's because you had excitement. There was something in you that said, I want to change. And that, I think that right there is so much recognition is deserved when you actually hit that submit button, because people don't get to that.
Right.
People don't get to that. People will literally let fear cripple them that they don't even push the button, bro. Like,
right.
To start something new. And I think that when they do that, I always make it a point to reach out and get to that, because of that why. Because I understand where I was when I started this thing,
right.
Where I didn't know anything. I didn't know any better. I didn't know the products and services. I didn't come into this knowing, you know, and same as you. So again, thank you so much. I appreciate it. Just going into that, but again,
let's go to the question, because I still remember the question. The question was
the passion.
Yeah.
Right?
So how do you find your passion?
How do you find your passion? Like, when do you know, like, wow, this is my passion? And
Right.
just before we get to that, like I said, when I saw I just felt the shift in myself. I don't know if it was in my body, in my mind, or what, but I was like, it wasn't even about the money. I was just like, oh my God, that person just made money, and she told me that she was able to feed her kids this week. Like
Powerful.
those things like that. I was like, oh my God, I literally get the chills, because now we have so many stories like that. But when I first started hearing those stories, and they were thanking me and thank you for not giving up and thank you for, and I just was like, that really was a product of me not giving up. And
Right.
I think that's when I was like, okay, I like this.
Right.
I love. I've always been like that, but that's kind of what the moment was for me. What does it take to get to that moment?
Bottom line is, you have to get sick and tired of being sick and tired. And what I find is, you must change your environment, because everything that you've done has led you to that point, right? So you have to be almost insane to believe that you're going to get a different result hanging around with the same people, doing the same things, thinking the same thoughts, experiencing the same emotions. Like, our life becomes redundant until we take control and we start to create, right? So if you don't start to create your life, if you don't decide that enough is enough, nothing is going to change. We have two variables, right? And a lot of you guys know this. We got the pain principle and we got the pleasure principle. And the problem is that we don't talk about the comfort in the middle. So we got pain, we got pleasure, and then we got comfort in the middle. So there's a lot of us running to pleasure because it's comfortable despite us struggling with all of this pain. Hear me. We rather stay in comfort, right, and run to pleasure because that's what we're familiar with, than to actually go against the pain that we're thinking we're going to experience, because it forces us to be a different human being. Ladies and gentlemen, understand this. Our brain is designed to help us survive. The minute that you try to do something different, it's like, no. So it's a battle within yourself. You're literally going through this battle within yourself. That's why you make a decision, right? And until you implement the habits after that decision, you're going to continue to stay the same human being, because it's not just the decision. It's the habit that follows the decision that's going to determine the result of your life. So if you're at a point in life where you're like, okay, you know what? This all sounds great. Where do I start? Like, if I could be real with you, if I could be transparent with you, if I could, like, for real, if we could go deep with this. If you were to die tomorrow, would you be proud of the life that you lived?
Let's go.
If right now, your grandkids or your kids are having a conversation with their kids and they're talking about mommy, daddy, are they gonna talk about you in a proud way? Or are they gonna feel like, oh my God, my mom and my dad those were my heroes, for real? Like, what are you doing it for? Right, as I just said, I have so many whys on my shoulders that I have to turn into this beast. So right now, when I'm talking to you guys, you know where this passion comes from? This obsession of what kind of man is my son and my daughter going to remember? What kind of man is my sister going to remember? What kind of son is my mom going to remember? What kind of father is my son going to remember? I'm talking about the real reasons, not the likes on Facebook. Right? Not the little recognition on social media. I'm talking about the real reason. I'm going hard at everything that I do from this point to the rest of my life, because I want the people that I love to be proud of the individual that I've become. No excuses. Y'all gotta stop playing that little victim, that little pity party mentality, because you have it. You're a conversation away. You're a few relationships away. You're a decision away. You're a few habits away from changing the dynamics of your entire life. Don't feel guilty because of where you're at. Because we all do that. We feel so guilty of the results that all of a sudden we're like, it's too late. It's too late. If you can breathe, if you can listen to what I'm saying, if you can really understand, you're consciously aware that you're awake, there's no such thing as too late. Right now, you are watching this live for a reason. You are watching me and Rise Up for a purpose. You want more, you're striving for more, you're hungry. Now make that decision that you're gonna make the rest of your life the best of your life.
Fire! Can we get some fire? I need some flames in the chat. Come on, guys.
Yo.
Come on. Let's get some flames in the chat. We
Racata, racata, si se me pega, voy a darle. Racata.
Look at the flames in the chat. Can we get some flames in the chat, guys? Come on, let's get some flames in the chat. Come on, let's get this lit. Keep sharing this. We're gonna be doing a cash raffle. Oh my God, there's so much value in this. I don't think they know, bro.
They don't understand.
I don't think they know.
They don't understand.
So let's talk about seeking for approval.
Who?
Because you talked about so many people saying no to me at the beginning.
Right.
And, I remember not caring.
Right.
Because the passion was already there.
Right.
So I think what happens is that people continue to seek the approval because the passion is not really there. They haven't made the decision. They got one foot in, one foot out. And so any little thing that comes their way that kind of hits that ego, they're like, okay, back to the pleasure.
Yes.
Versus going into the pain.
Yes.
So when you prioritize approval over learning, you sacrifice your own potential for growth.
Woo! Woo!
So
Muchacho.
tell them to so stop seeking approval. What would you tell someone that's continuously seeking approval? Here's a prime example. I have a lot of females on my team, obviously, right? We're building a big boss lady movement. Guys are welcome too, but a lot of them are seeking the approval of their significant other to build their business, or their parents, or someone else, or I can't because of this person. So what would you say to someone like that? Do you feel like they're still stuck in that I haven't made the decision yet, or is it really this seeking the approval versus learning and dealing with these obstacles? Not everyone's meant to go where you're going.
So basically what I think it boils down to is that we all have limiting beliefs. And we all have a story that's connecting us to those limiting beliefs. So it's a lot easier for us to become dependent off of somebody, right? It's a lot easier for us to seek the approval because the moment that we don't get the approval and that validation that we're seeking, it gives us enough justification to give up. So what people are telling me, anytime they're blaming absolutely everything but the result to themselves. No, that sounded mad bilingual. Anytime, I sounded mad ratchet right there. Anytime somebody's doing the blame game or they're actually justifying their lack of results because of something else outside of themselves and they're not accountable, they just don't understand their limiting beliefs and they're looking for an excuse because they don't want to face that mirror.
That's good. And me and you talked about limiting beliefs. Very common.
Yes.
And very common because of upbringing,
yes.
environment. So we're so stuck in just knowing what we know that we don't think we can do more. And that keeps us there. I love limiting beliefs. Like, that's a whole other topic. All right, so look. They're like, talk to me. A lot of people in the chat. All right, guys, remember, if you share, you'll be entered into a cash raffle. Again, we have worldwide now, right? Worldwide National Inspirational Coach. Oh my God, bro.
Can I share something?
How does that feel? Coming from the 413, shout out to the 413, right? Coming from the 413, we could say you've broken a lot of adversity.
Right.
A lot of adversity. And you're still in the city.
Still here.
I love, right? I migrated to Tampa just because I don't like the cold. But that's home.
Right.
But what you're doing, it's just so inspirational. I've seen so many people. I mean, and I know that one of your passions is the whole suicide movement, just based on what you went through. And when I see these messages and just people, I mean, you've developed such a huge following, and people are literally, lives are changing.
Yeah. Just
because you're out there doing what you're doing. So I'm so proud of you. Before we actually stop with this, I have one more thing. What do you think about attitude? Like, at what point do people take ownership of their attitude? Because once you start to develop a growth mindset, you got to own it. And then acknowledging yourself as someone who possesses a growth mentality, I think is huge.
Right.
So what would you say to someone with attitude-wise? I have a lot of people join, for example, I literally put people that join my team, excited, but then their
Right.
attitude's not there to grow. They're still, surrounded by those same environments and not wanting to do the little things that lead to long-term results. What would you say to someone as far as changing those attitudes?
Right. So it's time. It's time for you to realize this defense mechanism and this wall and this barrier that you're creating with your perspective and your approach on what you're doing is what's handicapping your growth. Because what most of you are approaching this business as is you're approaching it in a cool manner, right? This is not about a fad. This is about a lifestyle. And the way you protect your attitude says a lot about your self-image. You're still caring about the opinions of others. You're still too cool to learn. You're still too cool to look less than. You're still too cool to get out of your comfort zone because you're afraid of what? You're afraid of what? A positive attitude in life is so necessary because no matter what you're doing, no matter what you're pursuing, you're going to deal with adversity. You're going to deal with different. You're going to deal with discomfort. And just know this, the more uncomfortable you are, the more something feels awkward, the more you're learning at that moment, the more you're evolving at that moment. Have an attitude, and the attitude that I want you guys to start to implement, not just that positive attitude, but that attitude of gratitude, that attitude and that understanding that I have an opportunity with this information and this opportunity to change the dynamics of an entire generation. How are you not taking that personal? Feel me? I don't even want to yell because I want you to listen to me. How are you not taking it personal that this opportunity that you have in your hands, whether it's the credit restoration, whether it's a business, whether it's being a mom, whatever opportunity you have in your hands, whatever cars you're dealing with right now, you have an opportunity to change the dynamics of an entire generation. If that's not something that excites you and gets you out of bed, there's something wrong. There's something wrong. There is something wrong. And I want to go back. And I want to go back now that I have this thought, Riza.
Yes, please. That's generational curses that's huge.
So this is what I want people to know. If you go back to my very last post, I started social media on 2009. In 2009, right? We're in 2021. People think, oh my God, Jeremy Rodriguez is blowing up out of nowhere. Oh my God, Jeremy Rodriguez is all of a sudden traveling and doing everything. I just need you guys to feel me because this shit makes me want to cry. You guys know how many times I felt like giving up. You guys know how many tears I went through. You guys know how many relationships I've lost. You guys know how many things I had to overcome. You guys know how many times I've cried in the shower, literally hating myself because I couldn't figure out a way to change my old habits and my old me. Guys, this is a process. This is a process. And rather than you getting discouraged about this process, I want you to get excited. I want you to get excited. I was scared and I'm still scared. I still, when I'm in my showers, I'm still doubting myself. I'm still asking myself, Jeremy, how is it that you're doing what you're doing? Why is it that you're doing what you're doing? But then I get the impulse to do another video. But then I get an impulse to do another session. But then I get an impulse to open up my store. Guys, I'm doing this still doubting myself. So just know the doubt never goes away. You just learn how to manage it. That's it. That's it. Like literally, that's it.
Whew. You gave me the chills because the shower. Oh my God! You know how like my most creative moments come in the shower, bro. Like
Yeah.
And you kind of taught me this too because I've always had that. But when I had a conversation with you, you were like, that's when you really want to like be in tune with yourself and really document your thoughts.
Right.
And I started to do that. It just completely changed everything. Like I could just see clearer. Like I could see the thoughts. I could write the thoughts down. I could really visualize. But I've done it too, bro. I've cried in the showers. There's time where I'm like, I failed. My team will crumble. People come in, they leave. The people that I help the most, bro, they stab me in the back.
Yes.
You know, I've gotten stabbed in the back. You know, the people that I've helped the most.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and to continue to serve and give when that has happened to you, that's hard. That's breaking through attitude, adversity. That's breaking through just things that you know, in our subconscious we build a defense mechanism, like you say, based on our past experience.
Yes.
If I were to stay in that space, I would be helping nobody right now.
Right.
So you know, I've cried and I've done, you know, been through all of these emotions, but still standing, still building. I'm seeing the end result, bro.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going right now in this path with the end in mind. If it takes me 3 to 5 years, bro, I do not care how long it takes.
Right.
I have the end in mind. I have the end in mind, and even at the end is not the end.
Powerful.
You know, when you have a passion, the end is not the end. There could be a title, there could be something that I want to reach, an income goal, but that's not going to be the end, because my mentor's 28, already at the top, and he's still serving.
Right.
Why? Because when it's passion, nothing can stop you from doing that. And when it's aligned with purpose,
mm-hmm.
it's a wrap.
Right.
So I know that that's where you're going, bro.
I still got some more. I
can only imagine, you know, 5 years from now, like these conversations. That's why I'm glad we could record them, because I just know, based on the track record, we're going to be impacting so many people's lives, and starting with our community as well. So, all right, so now I'll leave it open format. What do you want to tell your audience and my audience? Obviously the topic is growth mindset, but I'm gonna let you do your thing.
Yeah.
Because I find that you're like in your element right now.
I'm in my element. I'm
taking notes.
Yo, I'm in such a crazy zone right now, because
And the zone right now. So I'm gonna give you the floor. I need you to touch some people.
Yeah.
I need you to touch some people. I need you to. This is the year to take action.
Right.
After what happened this past year, I think people still sleep. Let's
Absolutely. So right now, what I've realized for me personally is that I was too needy, right? I was too needy with seeking validation. I was too needy with seeking significance. I was too needy with seeking recognition. And everything that I was doing had an ulterior motive. Here's what I found out. This is one of the habits that I started to create. I no longer need nothing. I now have everything. I have everything that I need, because ladies and gentlemen, like, this is so crazy. Like, this is so wild to me, right? Like, the moment that you feel whole, that you feel complete within yourself, that you feel like you need nothing, is when you're going to start attracting everything. So right now, I feel like my dream, my customers, my clients, they're chasing me, because I no longer have this desperation. When you are desperate, when you are needy, people think you gotta go hard, you're dream chasing. No, at the end of the day, you have to create the world internally. We attract. So no matter how hard you try to work in your physical world, if you don't work as hard in your internal world, nothing is going to change, because our subconscious says we have a ceiling. We have a ceiling. We have a ceiling. We have all of these limiting beliefs, right? So this is what happens. We consciously try to outgrow, and we try to outpower, and we try to outmaneuver our subconscious, but then our subconscious humbles us and goes, nah, you still haven't done the real work. Nah, you still haven't visualized enough. Nah, you still haven't meditated enough. Nah, you're still not intentional about what you're doing. You're still having whack conversations. You're still entertaining things that you shouldn't be entertaining. Everything has to be in alignment, because the moment that I'm intentional about what I want, the moment I understand what I want, and I walk already owning that, forget about it. People are gonna sense the energy. They're gonna sense the certainty. The difference between greatness and average is that those people that are great, they have straight up certainty and conviction with what they're doing. Woo! Listen, I need you to feel me. I need you to feel me. Because if you think that you're gonna take your insecure self, right, and overcome all of this criticism and overcome all of this doubt and overcome all of these obstacles, if you think that you're gonna take that insecure version of yourself and overcome those things, you are bugging. I always tell people, self-love is the foundation, and it's not because that sounds great, but it's the truth. Because right now, I love myself so much that I can't let myself down. I need you to hear me. I love myself so much that I can no longer let myself down. So right now, my son, my mom, my girl, my sister, my daughter, they're all bonuses, right? They're all a little bit more horsepower. But now I'm looking at the man in the mirror and I'm like, yo, Jeremy, you can't let yourself down, brother. You cannot let yourself down. You cannot let yourself down. Do you hold yourself that accountable? Do you hold yourself that accountable? I feel like crying just knowing how many people are going to be 90 years old, if you even make it that far, and suffering, living a life of misery because you chose not to take control. Why are you not taking control? Why are you not taking control? Everybody says, oh my God, because of this and because of that and because of this, we got more information than ever. Ladies and gentlemen, we got more information than ever. So if you are not applying the information that's out there, if you're not seeking the information that's out there, that's your problem. That's nobody else's fault. So stop playing the victim. Stop playing the victim. And this is another thing that this is about, Riza, whoever's watching, I promise you, this is about to change people's whole perspective on money. If money was a person, would money want to be around you? Listen to me. Listen to me. If money was a person, would money want to be around you? We strive for money, right? We grind for money. We think about money, but let's really think about the way we perceive money. We criticize it, right? We complain about it. We're always thinking about the lack of. We get mad when other people have it. But yet we want this piece of paper to land in our bank accounts. We want this piece of paper to land in our pockets when everything that you're doing is everything to retract it. I need you to hear me. Everything that you're doing is retracting money. You disrespect money, you criticize money, you complain about money, you talk shit about people that have money, you have this freaking animosity towards money, and you want money to find you?
That makes no sense.
How? If money was around you, just think about this. I want you to think about this, right? $100 bill. If that $100 bill became a person and that $100 bill was a person that was with you for a whole year, what would that $100 bill say about you? Who are you behind closed doors? What are the habits that you're really practicing? Who is it that you're really talking about? Who are you? Who's the real you? Not the one that you're portraying to social media. Who's the real you? Feel me? Who's the real you? So again, if I'm $100 bill and I transform into a person, hypothetically speaking, well, I want to be around you. You're talking shit about me all the time. You don't believe that I can land in your bank account. You're mad because I happen to chill with people that actually deserve me, that actually appreciate me. Look at money like a person and your whole perspective on money is going to change. Really think about that.
Ooh, oh my God, the chat is fire right now. Woo! And that just goes into financial literacy because you can make a lot of money and lose it. Look at how many celebrities have, and they're broke, right? Look at how many people hit the lottery and end up committing suicide. Money, my mentor told me this, money will enhance your personality.
100%.
Woo!
100%.
Oh my God.
If you...
So we tell that to people on our team too, like they want this title, but they're not ready for it.
Mm-hmm.
You're not ready for that title yet. You gotta go through the grind. You gotta go through every level. You gotta learn. You gotta develop as a leader. You gotta learn how to deal with emotions. And then so they look at the title and they looking at the money tied to the title, but not the process that it took to get to that title.
Come on.
Because you can't keep it.
Come
you
on.
Get to that title, but you won't be able to keep it. Woo!
Yo, listen to me. Yo, I'm so fired up right now. Like you have no idea. Listen, become the millionaire before you strive for the million. Become the millionaire. Look at what millionaires are doing in their daily habits. Look at the way they carry themselves. Look at the way they talk. Look at what they do on their daily basis. Really look, like right now, right? So I've been me and my son been having these conversations and stuff like that, right? And I'm telling my son, I'm like, yo, Jeremy, like I used to say that I was the best speaker in the world, right? And I did not believe that. I did not believe that at all because my actions weren't consistent. I was doing very little and was thinking a lot. And what I told my son, I'm like, yo, I'm falling into an element where I no longer care about the title. I no longer care about the accolades. I no longer care about the publicity. All I care about is the human being that I want to touch. Genuinely. Yo, Riza, I used to make the mistake, right? Like I was talking to this with my pastor, the gentleman that's recording me right now, Felix. He's an amazing individual, right? Every time I would post, I was throwing a bait with an ulterior motive, right? So think about this. How many of us are really posting thinking that we're inspiring because we put a little picture up and we put a little quote up, but in reality, it's not for them, it's for us. It's for the validation. It's for that significance. It's for us to feel important because of the response that we get with the post. Go!
The likes and comments.
Woo!
Oh my God, bro.
Woo!
You freak.
Like, woo! So now I'm like, if you notice my videos lately, the passion is different because now I'm trying to imprint your soul. Forget the like, forget the comment, forget the inbox, forget the coaching session, forget about you buying my merch. All I want to do is help you change your life. Nothing more, nothing less. When you do it with a form of love and a form of passion and you actually enjoy the process, the money is inevitable. So again, before trying to become the millionaire, be the millionaire. Be the millionaire. Before me trying to be the greatest speaker in the world, no, embody what that means. Why is it that I want to be the greatest speaker in the world? Is it to inspire? Is it to help? So why am I not doing that right now? Why is my approach not that right now? So you cannot say you want to be a millionaire, but yet your approach is not consistent with that millionaire.
And people can sense when you're not genuine.
Come on.
And so I've just been going live like lately. You know, I've dealt with my own insecurity and fears too. So like, it used to be like, I'm not going live unless my hair or my makeup is done. Now, I don't care. Like, I'm like, it's so crazy. Like, I don't even care. Like, I was in the kitchen, no makeup done, no hair done. And I'm just literally cooking and just providing value. Like, just value. Like, all I want is value. And, you know, I think once I had that change in my mind, it was a wrap. Like, I really don't care. Like, I'm touching somebody. Somebody's being touched every single time I go on live, every single time we have a conversation. And that's the end goal. And it's funny because on my vision board, the word I have this year is transformation.
Love it.
Transformation. We've been in this building. I think that this year, this is the year of transformation. This is when we're going to go that cocoon to the butterfly, and I'm excited about it because so many lives are going to be changed. I know, same for you, but again, it's been something that's, you know, people will see now, but we started this thing January 2018, okay? I'm going on 3 years of just being in the process.
Right.
So I still, right now, I'm in a full year coaching session that I paid about $10,000 for. I mean, the investment on my personal development on what's up here, I mean, the books, and that's the kind of attitude, but I never was that person.
Right.
I want to be 100%. Thank God I hid all my pictures from back in the day, but it used to be the best thing I ever did was go to the clubs and pop bottles and mini skirts, you know, like, it's so crazy. And I want people to understand that it took me being sick and tired, right? I have this all written down that you said. It takes you being sick and tired of being sick and tired. It takes you changing your environment, because when I started to change my environment and started to hang with the people that were more successful than me, I ended up, you know, leveling up because of the environment that I was in, going towards the pain versus the pleasure of what people thought, being obsessed. So I have all of this written down, and it's literally where we've been and where I continue to be. Obviously, I still get comfortable sometimes. I still get scared doing lives, but I'm just gonna do it. Like, I don't care. Like, it's to the point where, like, I used to say that I was kind of like an introvert, and it's to the point where it's like, I'm an introvert, but I'm gonna do it anyway. So like, in my mind, I'm like, I'm not a conversation, like, I'm not the one to start the conversation, but I'm gonna do it anyway, because I know that relationship with that person is going to lead into some type of relationship.
Right.
And I think that's where I am right now. So this is the year of transformation. I wanted to bring you on because the nuggets that you just dropped, everybody's like, our live is lit right now. And that's what it's all about. That's what it's all about, because so even if it's one person on this live right now, and we're talking to you, and you're in that process, and you're like, I don't know what my passion is, I don't know what decision I have to make. This is probably something that's going to change your life on how to start taking the steps to get out of that stuckness that I've been through, that Jeremy has been through, so that you can now live in your purpose. And again, now that financial literacy, all of that comes into play when you start to become a better person, you just attract better things.
Right.
Period. And I say that with full transparency. I do want to touch on the fact that I failed at marriage, right? I think it's pretty obvious to my audience. I failed at marriage, and I failed at multiple relationships before. And I feel that my relationship now is thriving because of the person that I had to become for my business. Showed me who I was and where my weaknesses were.
Love it.
And so growing in communication, growing in learning. As a leader, you can't be controlling of your team. You have to be able to work together. And I think that learning and growing as a leader in this business has made me a better mother, a better significant other, and maybe my relationships would have continued to fail. So while people are thinking, oh, that's just the business, it's a life transformation. It's literally been a life transformation where every element of my life has been touched because we decided to make a decision here and follow the passion. So again, thank you so much. I know you're super busy. I don't want to take a lot of your time, but this is so powerful. And I appreciate you because, like you said, I'm probably one of the only people that could be like, yo, let's do a live. And you're like, let's go. And I appreciate that. I remember recently when you came to Orlando, that was powerful. I mean, we could have stayed up till like 5 in the morning. I think we did.
Yeah.
But there was a lot of conversations there that actually created transformations. So, and when this guy speaks, guys, I'm telling you, follow him. Where can people follow you? So I actually tagged you. If you want to just tell people how they can find you, so they continue to find your inspirational. I know you have the YouTube and all that going on as well.
So all of my content is at Inspired by Unity. I have Inspired by Unity on Instagram. I have Inspired by Unity on Snapchat. Inspired by Unity on TikTok, even though I haven't really done TikToks. Inspired by Unity on Facebook. Right now, my you know what's crazy, Reza? That right now I got 5,000 friends on my Facebook, and I got 155,000 friend requests.
Bro.
100, and it's crazy, like. And I wish that I can accept everybody. That's why I created a business page, and I want to work more on that business page and stuff like that. But it just goes to show, guys, like whatever you do, I think the key, and I want to make sure that I end this on an intimate note.
Absolutely.
The key to anything is truly being consistent, right? Because when you do something, you gotta go through the mud, and you gotta go through the ugly, and all that is called experience. You know, like there's so many videos that I look back at and I'll be like, wow, that video was whack. You know, and there's so many things that I look back at and I'm like, wow, but I look back sometimes to understand how much I've grown. Sometimes we don't give ourselves the credit that we deserve because we're so busy trying to be perfect. We're so busy trying to evolve into what society wants us to evolve that we never give ourselves that recognition. Like, yo, you know what? Despite the cards that I've been dealt with, I've tried to do my best, and I'm doing my best, and it just continue to learn, continue to grow, to continue to evolve. And before we end this segment, we never answered the question, how do you find your passion? And I want to make sure that I answer that question for you guys. So for me, I want you guys to really just listen to this. I'm not going to yell. You know, the yelling comes from passion, but I want you guys to just really listen to this. If money did not exist, what would you be doing with your time? Again, if there was no such thing as money, if there was no such thing as the material aspect of life, and it was just you and life, what would you be doing with your time? Are you a musician? Are you a motivational speaker? Do you want to help people with their credit? Do you want to sell real estate? Do you want to throw a football? Do you want to sell merch? Like, if money didn't exist, what would you be doing with your time? Because the moment you do that, you fall in love with the process, and the moment that you fall in love with the process, the prize is inevitable. You guys follow me? You figure out what would you do if money didn't exist. And right now, as you guys are doing this, find yourself, guys. Understand that this is a relationship and an intimate relationship that you must have with yourself. You have to get to know who you are. Not who were you developed to be, right? Because we were all conditioned a certain way. But figure out who you are. Like, bring yourself back to that kid. What did you think about? What did you want to do? What was the things that people stopped you from doing that you really wanted to do? And think about those things. And once you become obsessed with those things, learn how to monetize those things. And once you learn how to monetize those things, because you're in love with the process, all of the prize is going to chase you. You're no longer going to have to chase it. And I promise you, that is the fastest way to finding your passion. If money didn't exist, what would you be doing with your time?
That's perfectly put, bro. Like, that question right there, perfectly put. Like, I think that probably have a lot of people contemplating and thinking tonight, which is exactly what we wanted to accomplish today.
Absolutely.
So thank you so much, Jeremy.
No problem.
I appreciate you, bro. You know, I love you from the
Always.
bottom of my heart. Continue going out there. Keep doing what you're doing, bro. You're changing so many lives. It's only the beginning. That's
Absolutely.
what's crazy, bro.
Absolutely.
It's only the beginning. 155,000, that's nothing. You're going to touch so many people because you decided to stay consistent and say yes to your passion, and you made the decision to keep going. And there's going to be more failures, right?
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
Keep grinding this thing out. So
yo, shout out to your team. Shout out to your team. Shout out to Sherry. Shout out to Brandon. Shout out to Xavier. Shout out to Rob. Shout out to Ashley. Shout out to all those individuals, Melissa, all those individuals that I got to link up with when I was down there. You guys are phenomenal. I'm so glad that we're connected, and I just want to see you guys continue to evolve. You guys have so much potential. You guys have great leaders, and just allow yourself to be led. You know, allow yourself to be led, and even as you being on this end, right? You may not have the position, but you can still bring value to your leaders. Never forget that it's a mutual relationship. Never see yourself below nor above anybody. Just continue to do what you got to do. And when in doubt, when you feel like giving up, just realize why you started this in the first place. I really love y'all. Thank y'all so much for the time.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, guys. Love y'all. Thank you guys for watching. Powerful session. Follow Jeremy at Inspired by Unity, guys, on Instagram, Facebook. I already tagged them.
YouTube.
So what I'll do is I'll put his business page below, his YouTube, so you guys can continue to follow this powerful dude that I love so much. Can't wait to see you, bro. I'll see you
Love
soon.
you too, man. Thank you so much, Riza.
All right, honey. God bless.
All right, likewise. My bad. That was a little long, right?